Welcome, brothers and sisters. Hope you're great. Thought I'd do a video instead of a little short thing, and I'm not up for going live right now. If you like what you hear, consider subscribing. It's 30 degrees here in beautiful, sunny Illinois. How are you holding up, brothers and sisters? How are you holding up? So, been reading a lot of comments, been hearing a lot of, brilliant minds in the crypto space this morning and over the weekend talking about confirmation of being in a bear market. Been hearing George this morning talking about the gentleman with the highest IQ says we're going to be at 200K in 45 days, and he believes that, or he's pushing that, and how he has to stay bullish. And look, there's nothing wrong with being optimistic, I guess, and it's certainly better than pessimistic, but you need to hear the truth, right? If you just want to feel good and everything, this is probably not the place for you. I want everyone to feel good, but I also don't want anyone to be fooled about anything, whether it's crypto or investing your health. Let's be honest, there's plenty of channels that will do that, and they're awfully silent when shit's hitting the fan. Right now, Bitcoin's at 94K. Touch 93-ish again. Definitely wants to go down. Some of the Wolf of Wall Street's right there. You get 4 people on talking every Monday morning, and each one says something different and just wants to be the one talking and the smartest person in the group. It's certainly good to listen to that channel, I believe. Scott is actually finally, as I mentioned this weekend, agreeing with what I've been saying for 2 years. Now, people have said to me, oh, you said alt season's coming, and a couple comments I got. And why am I addressing them? Because I don't get that many comments. I like to address them just so people can know what I'm thinking. If you watch my videos over the last 2 years, I've never once said alt season is coming. George this morning saying, and many other people, now we're going down a lot because of what Powell said. We went from 100% guaranteed rate cut in December to now 40 or 50%. If you listen to me, I've been saying forever, 2 years, that, or actually when the Fed changed their tone and they wanted to start lowering, I said none of them are guaranteed. When everyone was saying October was guaranteed, I said no, it wasn't. We got one. But when everyone was saying December was guaranteed, I said no, most likely it's not going to happen. I was the only one saying that in this space. At least the people I listen to are here little, so I can't speak for everyone. I'm sure there's more. There's Gareth Holloway, who's I don't listen to him, but he's always thinks Bitcoin's going to $1. I don't believe that. But nothing is guaranteed. That's what I've been stressing. That's what I always stress. Just they pivot and they change their minds with data. That's what concerns me, is when people listen to idiots like these people in crypto. And yes, I'm in crypto. And yes, I love it and I hate it. I love it when it's doing well. I hate it when it's doing bad. And it's doing bad. Has been for 5 years, except for Bitcoin. If you're in Bitcoin, it's great. You're going to get a much lower price if you want to buy more. And everyone thinks that this is the savior and that's the savior, right? Michael Saylor is the savior. Michael Saylor is a fucking goofball. Might be a billionaire, but he's a freaking goof. Tom Lee is a freaking goof. These guys are richer than I'll ever be or you'll ever be. That doesn't make someone normal or logical. They just have a ton of money behind them. That's all. When you're a very intelligent person like they are, other parts of your brain have to give up something like personality and humor. Look at these two guys. Michael Saylor, would you want to go hang out with someone like him? He's a clown. Don't mean to judge his personality, but he's no children and he has nothing. He's just borrowing money to keep buying, and that's lovely. But at one point, he's going to have to liquidate. You'll see. Bitcoin is going to go to 30K, and that could be in 2 or 3 years. Everyone keeps saying the supercycle. There's no such thing as a supercycle. When Bitcoin is not in a bear market. And George is questioning, did we have a blow off top? No, we didn't. Who knows? So many people are coming around to the 4-year cycle being nonsense and the halving meaning nothing. That is true at this point. I've always said the 4-year cycle doesn't exist. It's coincidental. The halving does mean something. It gets people's interest. That's all. It gets people, oh, the halving is coming, and people start buying. Well, we're not having that with retail. And everyone thought institutions was going to save everyone. You recall when the ETFs came out, little pop, but once they went online, massive sell-offs. Massive. It actually killed Bitcoin and the rest of crypto. People, we have short minds. You forget. It's just like COVID. Everyone thinks that it was nothing, that it was only people that got hurt were fat people and elderly and immune compromised. They forget about all the beds that were taken, and people couldn't say goodbye to their loved ones who were like in their 20s and 30s. People in their 20s and 30s. Yeah, some of them were fat. Yeah, a lot of them had diabetes. Yeah, a ton of healthy people died too. I could tell you 11 people I know who were affected by it. People healthier than me in their 20s and 30s perished. So my point is, we forget so easily as humans. So I'm going to cover a few things quickly and get the hell off this. I'm hearing so many things, and let's talk about inflation for a second. Okay, I'm going all over the place. This retarded, and I hate using that word, administration, and all of them they're all pieces of shit, are blaming inflation on Biden administration, right? Trump can't take accountability for anything. No president can, but Trump's the worst. But Obama couldn't, Clinton couldn't, Biden couldn't, Bush couldn't. It's always the administration prior, or it's always the Democrats, or it's always the Republicans, right? There's never, ever accountability. Well, let me tell you, they're saying they inherited an inflationary economy. Yeah, they did. Guess who started it? Trump. COVID happened under Trump. They started printing under Trump. They started giving away stimulus checks under Trump. They had everyone staying home under Trump. They paid people for not working under Trump. They paid restaurants that were actually screwing the government over under Trump. Then Biden won. He printed more. He did a lot of completely useless things, and the market crashed under him as well. And they had everything going with crypto, but crypto was actually better under him. So all they could do to control inflation, all the Fed can do is control demand. So what do? They raise rates like a motherfucker under Biden. Then it started lowering them, and that what all that does is hurt demand. And remember, inflation really started for one reason only, and then other things. Supply. You couldn't get supply. I work for a manufacturer. Our supply went to 3 months out, some of it. Yet, then we were able to get it. I tripled my business. And I'm basically, I could retire right now if I want. Why the hell would I? I'm 53. Why the hell would I retire? I get insurance. I get an unreal salary plus bonuses. I'm waiting on a $30,000 bonus check. I get it every quarter. Sometimes they're 50 at the end of the year. I'm not bragging. I'm just telling you, about the market. I mean, so many people's businesses has, skyrocketed through COVID. If you're an idiot selling alcohol wipes and toilet paper, that only lasted a minute. So all that stuff, we hurt demand with raising rates like they did. And then confidence. And then as they're raising rates, they're printing money and giving people stimulus checks. Like I said, my wife didn't work. She was stay at home, but she taught a class for a health club, right? We worked out at a health club. They said, hey, you're great at this. Why don't you teach for us? She's like, nah. Well, and then she's like, you know what? Let me do that. She was making $50, 50, a week. If they wanted her to do a bunch more, but that's not what, she wasn't looking to have a job. It's just she got some benefits out of it, like feeling like she's contributing and she enjoys teaching. She's a dietitian by trade, but she hasn't, worked in some time. She raised our family. She's still raising me. When COVID hit, you know what they were paying her? I think she was getting like $2,500 a month, something like that. I think it might have been more. I think she had times where it was like $4,000. She was making more. She was making $50 a week. And I think I don't fully remember. Maybe it was $1,500 a week they were paying, or at least $1,000. I don't. It's crazy. And I used to tell, and then they would give those stimulus checks right to many people. I didn't qualify for those because of my salary, my income. But I mean, it's I qualified for other things because our company cut, things for a while instead of getting rid of it. They got rid of a bunch of people. I work for a $20 billion company. But so they were, and I said to everyone who's getting these and thinking it's great, I go, this is not free. This is not free. We're paying for this now. It comes from the taxpayer money. Then we're going to have to pay for it again, called inflation. And we're going to be, not only are we going to be giving back the money we're getting now, or you're getting now, it's going to kill prices and all that. And I was right. Long before I had a channel. That's back when I was listening to BitBoy every now and then, when BitBoy blew up. In many ways, right? His body, his mind, his head, his craziness. So, inflation then started picking up under because demand, supply and demand. Then the devalue of the dollar, right? What did we print? We printed more money in 2 years than we ever printed in the fiat existence. Then Biden took that over, printed more. There you go. Then he stopped printing, keep raising rates. Towards the end of Biden's administration, Powell says we plan on maybe lowering 4 times. Everyone's like, we're guaranteed, we're in. I'm like, no, we're not. Nothing's guaranteed. It's data driven. And he's going to get a little political with this. And now I've been saying that. Now people are freaking out and selling off because the Fed governors are kind of like, we don't think we're going to cut rates. We're 50-50. And they act like it's new news. Nothing's guaranteed in life, brothers and sisters. Nothing except for happy days, sad days, and hopefully you live a good life. Do the best you can. So when I hear this bullshit of, we're going to get this by the end of the year, or now it's the first or second quarter, nobody knows where it's going to go. This is what I can tell you through all this rambling. I was trying to make a point about inflation and Trump's administration, about, now with tariffs, right? Tariffs are what killed the crypto market. Everyone thought he was going to be the savior, and he did great things in the administration, except for the things I've mentioned a million times, right? Coming out with those scam coins. I told you not to buy them. Coming out with World Liberty Fi. Said, don't buy it. Don't buy it. It might be a good, okay scalp, but don't buy it. I didn't buy it, right? But then the market was good election time. Then after that, started sinking. Wasn't doing well, wasn't doing horrible. Then when he got in office, it started selling off, sell the news type of thing. Gary Gensler leaves. XRP pops up. Everything looks good and rosy. But then there was some more noise between them, but then the tariffs. And the uncertainty. And now he wants to undo some tariffs because they don't work. They work with negotiations, but they're just going to hurt us. I believe we're taken advantage of. You got to figure something out behind the scenes. So now he wants to take tariffs off of beef and bananas and all this other shit. Because I think they're finally getting through to him. Hey, Orange Man, his administration, people are hurting out there. He'll tell you it's $2 gas and there's no such thing as inflation. Under him, he's taking care of it all. And eggs, he'll still talk about eggs, right? He's talking about eggs from when he got in. He told me about eggs. He says, talk about dementia. There's nothing wrong with dementia, but don't act like Biden's the only one who has it. The only reason eggs went up, you morons, are not you, but him and people who think he knows what he's talking about, is because of the bird flu. That's why it went up. We constantly are killing hundreds of millions of birds that get the bird flu. It's constant. It's on a monthly basis, just so you know. I used to work in that industry. He said before I went vegan, I used to send heaters to suffocate them. Now they raise the heat, they turn off the flow, and they suffocate them. Now they suffocate them with foam, actual foam. They drown them in it. They just suck it. What they do is they put it into these places have the factory farms, even normal chicken farms. They have storage places that they're in, there's 20, 30,000 of them, and they get diseases, and they just throw this foam in there, suffocate them, and burn them alive. In China, they burn pigs alive when there's some type of infection. You put a bunch of animals together and you stick them with antibiotics and all that, they become resistant to it in their own shit. They get diseases and they pass it to you humans. I don't eat that shit. I can only hope one day that the tick that is around that makes you adverse to meat happens with every animal, and you can't eat any of that stuff, because not only is it bad for them, it's bad for you to eat this shit. So is he backing off the tariffs? I don't believe so, but I think he's people are getting through to him. Hey, people are hurting. You're going to hurt our midterms. We've got to change tune a little bit. Now, prices have come down in certain things, but overall, not really. Not as much as they should. Why? That's not only tariffs, that's price gouging. You know, the grocery stores and everyone has been price gouging. They took advantage of it. That's what the administration should have spent time on, going after these people. Not so much the grocery stores, but the distribution of that and the manufacturers. Yeah, I don't know what you do about the tariffs, but that is what it destroyed crypto early on. And then all the other bullshit. You know, the ETFs, Grayscale sold so many. If you recall, that killed Bitcoin and alts at the time. So it crawled its way up, and it clawed. And finally, things were looking good. And then it's just been on a downward, minus Bitcoin, a downward spiral for a year. I don't know, and nobody knows where it's going. Don't listen to all the bullshit of TA and everything about what people say. Nobody knows where it's going. Institutions are not here to save us. Everyone thought that everyone's good ETFs would be in for life. I was the only one saying, before they were even released, saying they will sell off. They're not just institutions. They're people like you and me that are buying these ETFs. I can tell you a million people. Young Jin, the owner of Elevar Wellness, he buys ETFs. He asked me if he broke even the other day. He was up a ton of money and now he's broken even. He asked me if he should sell. I don't know. I believe Bitcoin's going lower. It'd be nice if it didn't. But I think we see 80s before we do 100 again. Man, here's hope for you. I hope I'm wrong, because I don't know. And people tell me I don't know the fundamentals of crypto. Here's the thing about that. Number one, I do. And number two, I don't give a fuck. You don't need to know the fundamentals of the technology of crypto. Nobody is freaking using it. People build dApps and, you know, things on this and the blockchain, and no one's building on Bitcoin. And if they are, they're just morons, right? No one's using it. Bitcoin will never be it's a store of value. It'll never be used as currency. It'll never be used for technology. The blockchain will. Everything will be going to blockchain eventually, right? There will be a digital currency eventually. It's inevitable. Who knows? Could be 30 years. But no one's using Cardano. Look at it. Look at the things are there. Utility means nothing right now. Eventually will. Chainlink's great, but who gives a flying fuck? Solana's... What do you think drove up Solana? Do you think it was its technology? No. It was memes. It was the meme coin craze. Again, being built on it. That's what drove up Solana. It had nothing to do with it being a fast blockchain. Nothing at all. XRP going to take over Swift, remember? Be used by every bank. Never going to happen. They've even pivoted. Or the Chainlink competitors, the other oracles. Or the RWAs, or the AI coins, right? I mean, do they do anything? No. Then there's virtual AIs and, come on. And the memes and everything built on Bitcoin. These are just little gambling stuff. And I love it, right? When the market is good, it's fucking fun. Because it's all dreamers. We're all dreamers in crypto, thinking this actually means something. It means nothing. Utility has never amounted to price appreciation. It does in equities, in the real world. Crypto's not the real world. Once again, I love crypto and I hate it. I hate it in times like this. You only get a couple of good months of fun in crypto. And then you get 4 years, 4 years of waiting. It hasn't been around a lot. So you've only had a few fun times, and that's when people make their money. We had a little opportunity last year. Opportunity has not been here all year. We've had a little pops, right? When Trump's word on crypto meant something initially, when he spoke a little bit about what they're going to be adding via tweet or Truth Social, Cardano popped up, XRP popped up, a couple other things. And then boom, got his ass kicked, right? Everyone should have sold Cardano at $1.20 or wherever it got to, $1.15. I certainly wish I did. And I'm certainly not dollar cost averaging here at 47 cents. If, Bitcoin takes its next leg down, Cardano's at 40 cents, then 35. I'm not saying it's going there. I don't know. Nobody knows. But you do not have to, the fundamentals of crypto are just gambling and having fun with it. So if you're all in on it, you're going to lose. The majority of people in crypto lose. And the people who say you have, like I said, paper hands. Paper hands means I sold everything, which I did not. I've sold a couple projects and I haven't sold 100% of it. Still have some Solana. But I believe in taking profits off the table. Do I believe it's going to come back? Right? Theoretically, Jax, whatever he is, mentioned I obviously believe it's going to go up, otherwise I'd sell everything. Look, I've waited in bear markets like crazy. I can wait longer. I can walk away from here, don't do any more videos anymore, and just wait until it comes back. All of you can do that. See what happens. Half of my portfolio will not come back to where I bought it. It just can't. It's gone down so far. Now, when I say can't, that's actually a load of shit. It can. Anything can happen. Right? The ones I bought at a penny, they're at a quarter of a penny right now, could easily get back to a penny. Not easily, but it could if we get a bull market. And I will repeat, I've always said for the last 2 years that if this happens, we won't get an alt season. If this happens, we won't get a bull market. Bitcoin's in a bull market, but if this happens, if Trump tweets, if this happens, we will go down. And that's what's been happening. I'm not a genius. It's just I know more about investing than the majority of people in crypto. That's just the bottom line. Why? Because I don't live in hopium, and nor should you. This video is going a little longer than I thought. Moral of the story is there's a lot of factors right now that are off-risk assets. People believe, they can do a self-fulfilling prophecy. People are believing keep talking about an AI bubble. Eventually that's going to burst if people keep talking about it. Even though there's revenue with a lot of these companies, NVIDIA, AMD's trying, Intel's a pile of shit, but now, being a socialist government that Trump's against, yet we're doing it too, he's buying into the company, right? We have 10% of it now as Americans. Yet we're against socialism, yet the government's taking part of owning a company. That's socialism. Sorry. We are not a socialist country. We are quasi-democratic socialists, just like Europe. Except they get more benefits than us, and people think they pay way higher taxes than us. No, they don't. Look at our property taxes. Look at everything else that we pay and what we get. They pay into the system a lot, but they get a ton of time off. They get to retire with a pension and all that stuff and live off the government. That's not a good way to be. So we pay a ton of taxes, yet what do we get for it? Medicare, that's broke. As you can tell, I could talk for 30 hours. We have to wait and see if people get back to on risk. Bitcoin's going to lead the way. And we know how it takes place. Bitcoin has to lead the way. Now Bitcoin has to go, to get some interest, it's got to be at 105,000 and stay up there. And then it's got to work its way up to all-time highs. It's going to take a lot to get there. I mean, we've dropped over $35,000. Over 35, and just wait until it's really bad, right? Which could be tomorrow or it could be in 2 years. Then Bitcoin goes to 30K. I even hear George saying we could go to 70K right now, and what a gift that would be. I mean, George, who said it will never go below 100 again. Anyways, if it's bothering you, step away. My recommendations is you should not be buying, you should not be DCAing, because it's not strong, right? And if Bitcoin goes to the next level down, alts get destroyed more. You wait for confirmation, and everyone who says I'm wrong about this, because everyone does say that, they are all wrong. Why? Because they've been telling you to buy the dip for 2 years, even more, since I'm just going by when I started this channel. And I believe in dollar cost averaging, not in a time of a bear market, because it hasn't worked out, right? Buying something at $1, then buying it at 75 cents, then buying it at 50 cents, then it goes all the way down to a penny or 5 cents. That's stupid, because you have to wait for confirmation. As I always say, I'd rather you buy it 10 or 15 or 20% higher. And Bob, a crypto angler the other day, he probably never heard of him. He's a worthless streamer like me. Says then you miss out on the gains. This is a guy who doesn't even buy crypto. He gets crypto from his community. He doesn't even buy it. He's broke. He's 40-some years old and lives with a roommate. And his teeth are falling out. Yes, I get personal because he's a fool. And smart guy, but a fool. He tells you you're going to miss out on the gains. I'd rather you buy it, and you should rather and want to buy it 15% higher than buying it now and it go down another 50%. That's how you're giving away your money. Now you're going to hear Discover Crypto come on today, and they'll probably tell you, and that moron Kelly Kellum tell you, and that this is a great opportunity and we're almost at the bottom. And then you're going to have some, I think Rant, he's a scammer, but smart guy. He doesn't even believe the shit he says. Maybe he's talking about a bear market. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what any of us say. It's what you believe. And what you should believe is nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about in this market. Even the people at the highest level, because they're all wrong. Tommy Lee, who goes higher than him, or Michael Saylor. Michael Saylor's late to the game, right? He's just a Bitcoin maxi. And he'll win in the end, probably. I don't know. Nobody knows. Bitcoin's not going away, but it's certainly going to have its time in the depths of hell at 30K. Nobody knows when. Mark my words. I'm going to have a shitload of money down there to buy it. And it doesn't even mean I'll buy it at 30K. I'll wait and see what happens. Maybe I'll buy it at 35K, or maybe I'll buy it at 15. Who knows where it's going to go? But I do know it's going that low eventually. And I do know it's not getting to $1.5 million anytime soon. Like someone like Kathy Woods, who's supposedly a brilliant mind, says. I mean, can you imagine a prediction of 1.5 million? Now let this be known. I never thought we would get to 125K as quick as we did. So what the hell does vegan crypto now? All right, I'm out of here. Sorry, it's a rambling video, but some thoughts. You have to, you got to make the right moves for you. I'm looking very closely. I may sell near if it gets to $2.50 or $3, maybe. I got to see where we're at in the cycle. When I mean cycle of what's going on in the market. I don't believe in blow off tops and all that crap at this current point. We'll see where it goes. It's a ramble. I'm sure most of you didn't get through this, but if you did, subscribe.